Hi, it's Sean, the Fluency Awesomizer. Hey, I'm back with two more reading exercises for you today. Let's get started here with the first round. Are you ready? I'm going to show you a word. I want you to do your best to read it out loud. Hopefully someone's there with you to listen. Read this right out loud, okay? Here we go. All right? Think you know that word? Hey, did you say graffiti? The top word is graphite. And if you've read graphite, that's great. You may have guessed graffiti. These two words are very similar. Let's compare them. Okay, for starters, they begin the same way. In the middle, there's an F sound. Graphite has a PH, that makes an F sound. And there's double F in graffiti. So there's an F sound in the middle that's the same in both words. It's the end that gets interesting. Now, graphite has a silent E ending. That's going to make this I here a long I. So we have the sound ite at the end. So there's pretty much the word fight. Not this kind of fight, but that says fight, that syllable is fight. Down at the bottom, the E in graphite is actually, it's almost like the E is pronounced, graffiti. All right, and this I-T-I ending, this is Italian. All right, do you like pasta? Maybe you've had ziti before. Baked ziti, deliziosa. So I-T-I is an Italian ending. Let's take a look at the root words. Graphite, the root word of graphite is graph. Graph is a word that goes way back to the language of Latin. And then it was picked up in the French language, and we use it from the French language, graph, and it means, it has to do with writing. And if you look at graph down in graffiti, that's the Italian version of graph, G-R-A-F. So both of these words have the same root. And if you think about graffiti, it is a type of writing. So they both have to do with writing. Just like an autograph, right? That if you sign your name or get a celebrity's autograph to get them to sign a picture or something, you've certainly know about paragraphs, right? Maybe one, or you've written 3 or 5 paragraphs. That's a lot of writing. So graph's all about writing. Now we put an ITE suffix on graph, we get graphite. That's a mineral, and you might know graphite from pencils. That's what's inside a pencil, and that's why graphite has to do with writing, pencils. Isn't that cool? Now graffiti, the root is graph, like I said. We put an "ed" on the end, and we've got the Italian word graffiti, and now we've just borrowed that word, and we use it in English. But it has to do with writing. If you think about graffiti, we're probably used to graffiti as spray paint, but it is a form of writing. And graffiti actually is plural for graffito. That's one scribble. Graffiti is more than one. So let's look at the syllables now. Graphite is a 2-syllable word, graphite. Graffiti, a 3-syllable word, graffiti, all right? So now I'm going to put the words graphite and graffiti to the side. I want you to hit pause in just a moment. I'm going to give you a sentence or two to practice reading. This is full of words that are similar to graphite and graffiti and some of the sounds and letter combinations. So here you go. Hit pause. I'll be back with one more round. All right, you ready for the second round? I'm going to show you another word. Here we go. What's this word? Did you say orange? Or maybe you said the state Oregon. The top word is origin. These 3 words are easily confused. So I want to take a little time and we're going to compare these words. Let's start with origin and orange. Now, both of these words have a G and an N. Origin, the G comes first and the word ends with N. But in orange, those letters switch places, they reverse. The N comes first. It's so easy to reverse those letters when you're reading. All right, it's very common, happens all the time. So take a moment and look at the G and then the N in origin and the NG consonant pair in orange. Now, origin has two I's. So you're going to hear a short I sound, and I'm doing this as a reminder. This is I in sign language. So I have little reminders of short I sounds. If you touch your chin in, or you bit it, your fit inger, or maybe you pick your nose. I didn't really do it. So there's two I's in origin, and that's why you see the word in at the end of origin. And orange has an A. And in blue, you can see what looks like ang, but orange has a soft G sound where origin has a hard G sound. And here's something to remember, the two different G sounds, because if you happen to confuse origin and orange, it's probably because you didn't remember that G has two sounds and you tried one or the other. So here's a sign language G, and I want you to pretend, use your imagination, pretend this is a goose. Honk, 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 honk. Now, to remember the G sounds, think that, or just imagine that you either like geese or you don't like geese. And if you like geese, then it's just a gentle giant ja. And if you don't like geese, ugh, gross, geese, ugh, get out of here, goose, get going, ugh, ugh. That's a hard G sound, all right? So to remember, here's your goose, either like them, ja, or you don't like them, good, good, good. So orange has a soft G sound, ja, because of this silent E at the end, all right? Without that silent E, we would pronounce A-N-G, ang, with a hard G ending, ang. But it's a soft G because of the silent E there at the end. Now, here are the syllables in origin and orange. Origin, that's a 3-syllable word. Orange is a 2-syllable word. You might pronounce it with just one syllable. Orange, orange. All right, so if you slow it down though, there's two sounds, orange. So that's a comparison of origin and orange. Now let's take a look at origin and Oregon. Right? It looks like it should say Oregon, but the state of Oregon is pronounced as if the word gun is at the end. So they're similar because of the G and the N, which aren't reversed. Origin has an I before it, the G, and Oregon has an E before the G. There's a little difference, but here's the big difference. After the G in origin is an I. Most all the time, when a G has an I after it, that's going to be a soft G. Ja. But if the G has an O after it, the rule is that's going to be a hard G. All right, so there's your difference. This is hard to remember when you're reading, you're going along and doing a good job reading. Here comes the word origin. You might say Oregon and keep going. So something to remember is G followed by an I, soft G. G followed by an O, hard G. Now here are the syllables in origin. We know that from before. Oregon is also a 3-syllable word. So that's origin compared with Oregon. Now I'm going to show you another sentence or two here. Take a moment, take all the time you need, hit pause and read this for some extra practice. And that'll do it for today.